What's up guys, welcome back to Toon Duelists. We had another poll and you voted that you wanted to see the Gaia Dragon Champion deck profile the most, and today you get your deck profile. I'm really excited to show this one to you guys. It's a real classic and it's actually the first fusion summon we witnessed in the anime. So definite classic by Yugi and actually a surprisingly good OTK deck. And yeah, I'd say without further ado, let's dive right into it. But first I want to show you this awesome customized deck box we got from LDB Duel. I've been really looking for a long time for a customizable deck box, and this is by far the best I've seen. I mean, look at the quality of this print. It's really awesome, fully customizable, and with very good magnets, so you can also put it on the back side to have access to the deck and dice tray. They will also print you something on the trays if you ask them. They also have a very nice customer service. As you can see, the quality is amazing. Also inside, very soft inlay, so your deck will be safe. You have plenty of space for your deck, side deck, and more, and the dices fit perfectly in this tray. So you should definitely check out their store with the link in the description, ldbduel.com. And thanks a lot, LDB Duel, for this awesome deck box again. But let's get back to the video. As always, we start things off with the monsters, and the first monster we're talking about is Artillery Catapult Turtle. Now, this awesome retrain of the classic Catapult Turtle has an amazing effect because we can tribute a monster and then special summon from our deck or hand one Gaia the Fierce Knight monster or one Dragon monster level 5. And the amazing thing about this card is you can also tribute itself, so you just normal summon it, tribute it, and get out one of your dragons or your Gaia monsters, whatever you need. And since we have trouble searching a fusion material, this card is amazing and a definite 3-off. Next up is our Gaia monster for the deck, and it is Gaia the Magical Knight. Also, awesome card. We can normal summon this guy if we control no monsters or our opponent controls a monster with 2300 attack or more. And then if it is normal or special summoned, we can also special summon one level 5 dragon monster from our hand or graveyard in defense position. So it helps us extend and bring out one of your dragons, so you have everything ready for your fusion summons. Awesome card, definite 3-off, and this is probably the one we're going to search the most. And the next 3-off we run is 3 Curse of Dragon, the Cursed Dragon. Awesome card and definite 3-off, because if this card is normal or special summoned, we can add one spell or trap that mentions Gaia the Dragon Champion in its text, which is amazing because it can basically search our fusion and help us get out our fusion monsters. Also, if this card is sent to the graveyard, we can target one Gaia the Dragon Champion and negate the effects of face-up monsters your opponent currently controls with less attack than our Dragon Champion, which is also amazing because most of the time our Dragon Champion will have 5200 attack points. So basically we negate all the effects of our opponent. And the last monster we run is one copy of Curse of Dragonfire. This card is also neat. It has a good effect because if this card is normal or special summoned, we can target one field spell and destroy it. Once per turn, we can fusion summon one fusion monster from our extra deck using monsters we control as fusion materials, including this card. So if we lack a spiral fusion or any other fusion spell, we can just use this guy to get in our fusion summons. And that's already it with the monsters. Let's move on to the spells. So next up we talk about the spells, and the first one we talk about is our field spell, Galloping Gaia. Despite having an amazing artwork, this card is also very useful because it is one of our searches. You can basically reveal a Gaia and add a level 5 dragon, or you reveal a level 5 dragon from your hand and add an Gaia. So if you have one of those cards in hand, you can add the other one, which is amazing. It also has the great effect that your opponent cannot activate cards or effects during the battle phase while you control Gaia the Dragon Champion. So it also helps you pull off your OTK. Really amazing card and definite 3-off. Speaking of searches, we also run 3 Gateway of Chaos. another field spell, which basically lets us add a Gaia monster when we activate this card, and this is the only reason we run this card. Next up, we also of course run one Terraforming to search out our field spells, and one very interesting card which makes the deck even better, which is Set Rotation. One of the rare occasions we can actually run this card because we run two field spells with different names, and this is also the requirement for this card because we can set two field spells with different names, one on your opponent's side, one on your own side, and as long as one of those is set, no one can activate another field spell. So in Duel, this means you set your Gateway to Chaos to your opponent's side of the field and your Galloping Gaia on your own side of the field. Now the amazing part is your opponent can't activate Gateway to Chaos because if it is activated, he has to add a Black Luster, Gaia monster or whatever, and if he doesn't run one of those in his deck, he won't be able to activate this card, so he's blocked from activating field spells, but you can activate your Galloping Gaia. So amazing card. Sadly, it's limited, so we only run one. And the final card we run for consistency are 3 Pot of Extravagance. Of course, Prosperity is anyway down to 1, but we don't want to run Prosperity because we can't have our damage be halved. We want to OTK. Pot of Extravagance is amazing in this case. Next up, we talk about the board breakers. It's a going second deck, so of course we need those board breakers. And the first one we talk about is Book of Eclipse, which we run 3 copies of. Amazing card right here, books all monsters on the field. We actually want to keep those monsters, but they won't be able to activate any effects. Same goes for Book of Moon. Books 1 monster on your opponent's or your own monster, but of course most of the time you want to book a monster of your opponent without any drawbacks, so we can also play this as an interruption. And yeah, decent card and definite 3 of. Then other board breakers are of course Lightning Storm. We want to use that on the back row. We need the monsters for the OTK to work most of the time, so great back row removal. And if we talk about back row removal, you also have to have your Feather Duster. So next up, let's talk about the fusion cards we run, and first of all, of course, we run 3 copies of Spiral Fusion. The archetype's own fusion spell, and it is really amazing and big part of the strategy. We can fusion summon 1 Dragon Fusion monster from our extra deck using monsters from hand or field, and if we special Gaia the Dragon Champion, it gains 2600 attack, and it can make up to 2 attacks on monsters during each battle phase, which is amazing and which is part of our OTK combo. So really important card, and of course a 3 of. Next up, we also run 1 instant fusion. For the price of 1000 life points, we can special summon a fusion monster level 5 or lower, but destroy it in the end phase, but we can actually use its effects. Yeah, decent card, but it's limited, so we only run 1. We then also run 2 Dragon's Mirror. We can just fusion summon 1 Dragon Fusion monster using monsters from field or graveyard, but we have to banish them, but it can also be a great way to extend and get out another fusion summon. Next up, we also run 1 Ultra Polymerization. Now this is a card I'm not really sure about actually. I thought about playing 2 and cutting a Dragon's Mirror, but it's really a great card because we can pay 2000 life points and then fusion summon 1 fusion monster from our extra deck using 2 monsters we control as material. Since most of the time we summon our Gaia, which summons our dragon, we control those monsters anyway, so that's not a problem right here. The great part is neither player can activate cards or effects in response to this card's activation, which is great. Also, we can banish this card from the graveyard and then target 1 fusion monster that was fusion summoned with this card's effect, and then special summon all the materials from our graveyard, but change the ATK and defense to 0 and their effects are negated. Now the great thing about this, we can use both effects in the same turn and bring back our fusion material and go for another Dragon Champion. For the last 3 main deck cards, we also run 1 Spiral Spear Strike. Awesome card, also part of our OTK combo, because all our Gaia Fierce Knight and Swift Gaia the Fierce Knight and Gaia the Dragon Champion inflict piercing battle damage with this permanent spell. And if Gaia the Dragon Champion inflicts damage with this effect, you draw 2 cards and then discard 1 card. So it also is a great draw effect, and we can search this card out, so we only need to run 1. And for the last 2 spots, we run 1 Called by the Grave to keep us safe from hand traps, hopefully. And we also run 1 Monster Reborn. I don't have to explain that one. It can also help in this deck if we don't have enough attack power to get the OTK. Maybe we can borrow something from our opponent's grave, or our own of course, to just extend and be able to OTK as soon as possible. That's it for the main deck, guys. Let's move on to the extra deck. For the extra deck, we start things off with our boss monster in this deck, which is Gaia, the Magical Knight of Dragons. It does not only look amazing and is a real classic, it also has an amazing effect. We need 1 Gaia the Fierce Knight monster and a level 5 dragon monster, easy, and its name becomes Gaia the Dragon Champion while on the field. Now it has 2 great effects, because during the main phase, as a quick effect, we can target another card on the field, let this card lose 2600 attack, and then destroy that card. Since we summon it with Spiral Fusion, its attack will be basically doubled, so we have plenty of attack. And if it destroys an opponent's monster by battle, we can make it gain 2600 attack. And this is the crazy part, because if we get out this card with Spiral Fusion, we're already on 5-2. And if we then destroy 1 monster, we're on 7800 attack points, hopefully with piercing battle damage, and if we use Spiral Fusion, we have a second attack on a monster. So now you see where this goes, and this is your OTK card. So definite 3 of, especially if you run Pot of Extravagance, you have to run 3. Amazing card, our boss monster. We always want to get this guy out. Next up is another Dragon Champion, and it's the Sky Galloping Gaia the Dragon Champion. I only own 2 copies at the moment, of course. I want to run 3 because of Pot of Extravagance. And this card also needs a Gaia the Fierce Knight monster and a Dragon type monster. Also, its name becomes Gaia the Dragon Champion while it's on the field. And if it is special summon, you can add 1 Spiral Spear Strike from your deck or graveyard to your hand. So this is our searcher for the piercing battle damage. And it also has a neat effect, because when this card declares an attack on an opponent's monster, we can change the battle position of that monster. Doesn't really come up that often, but it's a searcher for our Spiral Spear Strike. That's what we need, and that's what it's here for. And the last Gaia Dragon Champion fusion monster we run is, of course, Curse of Dragon, the Magical Knight Dragon. Also, again, amazing card, looks beautiful, needs a warrior monster and a level 5 or higher dragon monster, and has the great effect that if you fusion summon a level 7 dragon fusion monster, so those 2, you can also banish monsters from your graveyard as material. And also, if it is fusion summoned, you can target 1 spell or trap that mentions Gaia the Dragon Champion in your graveyard and add it to your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn. Now, it is basically a great extender, because you have your Gaia, you have your Dragon Curse. You use Spiral Fusion, go into this guy, then he lets you add Spiral Fusion back from your graveyard, and since you have his effect that lets you use monsters from the graveyard, you can activate Spiral Fusion once again and then go into your boss monster. So you just extend and have another 2000 attack points monster on the field, which is great and can help you deal with the last few of your opponent's life points if needed. Next up, let's talk about some other cards we run. These are of course our main cards, the ones we want to see, but we also run some other cards, and the first one is Artifact Durandal. This rank 5 Xyz monster only needs 2 level 5 monster and has the effect that once per turn, quick effect, you can activate one of those effects. When a monster effect is activated on the field, or when a normal spell or trap card is activated, you can detach a material, and the activated effect becomes destroy 1 spell or trap your opponent controls. You can also detach a material from this card, and each player with a hand shuffles their entire hand to the deck and then draws the same number of cards they shuffled into the deck. As I already mentioned, consistency is a big problem, and it sometimes happens you have your fusion monster right here and another Dragon Curse on the field, so you can go into this guy, but it's really nothing that happens too often, but it's just a nice option if, you know, the case comes up. Next up, we run 1 Drill Driver Vesperanto, also a rank 5, and only needs 2 level 5 monsters. Basically, it has piercing battle damage, which is great for our OTK. Also, if this Xyz summon card in its owner's control is destroyed by an opponent's card, you can target 1 level 5 or lower monster in your graveyard and special summon it, which is great, so we can bring back a fusion monster or one of our dragon curses. The last rank 5 rerun is Imperial Princess Quinquerry. This one has the effect that we can detach a material and target 1 level 5 monster in either graveyard and special summon it to either field. Also, if a face-up level 5 monster you control is destroyed by battle or leaves the field by an opponent's card effect, while you control this monster you can add to your hand or special summon 1 level 5 monster from your deck. So it searches, its specials are dragon curses, which can be great. We also run 1 Flare Metal Dragon, 1 rank 7 option if we want to use 2 of our Gaias for whatever reason. It can deal some burn damage, block your opponent that way, or even finish him off maybe. So yeah, that's pretty neat. As I said, doesn't come up that often. And for link plays, we run 1 Nightmare Phoenix for spell trap destruction, and also 1 Cerberus. Also decent card, but yeah, as I already said, these 6 won't be needed. But we need a full extra deck, of course, for part of Extravagance. These are the main course right here. That's it for the extra deck. Guys, that's it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed. As always, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Let me know what you think about this deck. I'm always very excited to read your comments and answer them. This time, actually, don't think I'll do a combo video because it's not really a combo deck. You just get out as many fusion summons as possible and run over your opponent. And it's always hard to like draw test hands for a going second deck because yeah, you just have to know what you're dealing with. So yeah, doesn't really make sense. But if you want to see some replays or want to see a combo video anyways, let me know in the comments and I'll think about doing it, of course. If you saw one of the 3 remaining decks that you want to see next, the poll is still open, you can still vote, check out our channel and you'll find it there. And yeah, that's it, and until next time, have a good one.